Hi, this is Sue for Parkinson, Me, My Journey with Parkinson's. Today my title is Do I Want to Know or Do I Not? So there's a huge amount of information available on the internet, and as we all know, any of us that use social media, there's a clever little algorithm or widget or whatever the heck it is. I don't know what the technical term is, but when we start looking at things on a certain topic, then it magically knows what we're interested in. So you get bombarded after a while with all manner of things, so that even slightly in relation to the topic. So of course my main topic would be Parkinson's, and you get things about magical cures and videos of people who've had medicinal marijuana and it's done amazing things for them, deep brain stimulation, all sorts of things that come through. And sometimes when these things pop up, it's a little bit of a decision I have to make as to whether I'm in a space to look into the future that far ahead and to look at what may or may not be helpful at the time when things have progressed that far. At the moment as it stands, I'm still functioning reasonably well. My voice is mostly okay. It fades off sometimes at the end and I run out of breath, but I can still talk okay. So as long as I can do that, I should be able to manage these podcasts, which I hope will be for a long, long time yet. So when it comes to wanting to know things, I'd just like to talk about Michael J. Fox. To me, he is an inspiration. He is the pin-up boy for managing Parkinson's as far as I'm concerned. And he does a lot of good, and he gets himself out there and he gets himself seen, and he makes no pretense, doesn't try to cover any of his physical challenges or mental challenges. He talks about them, and he talks about them quite candidly. And he can still, even though his speech is much changed from when he was younger, isn't that the same for all of us? He can still get a good point across, and he still has that humour behind it. And I think he's wonderful, the way that he is out there using the energy that he has, being well known, being famous, I guess. It doesn't hurt when you're trying to get a message across. Now, I have done a bit of a blog on this as well, and I'm just amazed. It must really cost him. It must be hard to go out in public and talk about his journey and use it to help inform us all in what living with Parkinson's is like for him. And I almost said in my blog, still finds the energy which must cost him to go out in public and represent those of us with Parkinson's. Now that's the bit at the end I changed. Represent those of us with Parkinson's. And why did I do that? It's simple. I don't see Michael as someone who would represent themselves as speaking for anybody else or any group, even Parkinson's, even though he is well versed in how it affects people. It is mostly his own perspective and mostly his own experience that informs what is happening. I know he has advisors. He has the Michael J. Fox Foundation, but I'm sure he would never say he represents those of us with Parkinson's. He represents himself, and he is a firm supporter of all of us with Parkinson's and always trying to find things that help us. And for that he has showed a great deal of selflessness, I would say, that he thinks about others, not just about himself. So with podcasts, you get different types of podcasts, and mine I have chosen to do it just with audio. I don't really do the video thing. I've tried it and it looked absolutely horrendous, I have to tell you. My eyes were darting all over the place. I didn't know where to look. It came out really wooden and scripted, and I thought, no, I'm not going to be doing any live podcasts anytime soon. So I do have a bit of a background in radio. I worked as a co-host on a breakfast show for a while, just in a small town, and I did go to the broadcasting school, but I only did that for radio and not for television. So I have a level of comfort with hearing my own voice, even though none of us really like to hear our own voice. I have a level of comfort when it comes to audio, but a bit uncomfortable when it comes to being on a video chat, something that people can see me. So I won't be doing any sort of video chats that get seen by the public in a hurry. So what's it all about, this do I want to know or what? like I said, you get bombarded at times with various information about this cure or that cure or this new drug or this way of doing things. And when you start to read things, there's usually like a person at the front that's saying, like a learned doctor or a researcher or somebody like that, it starts to talk about, what's going to be seen in the next clip. And from that, I decide for myself whether I actually want to look at the clip or just read the stuff that is given in written form. And I might have a brief glance at something, but I'm more interested at the moment in seeing things that will help me at the stage that I'm at now. Issues that people might have, medications that might have better effect, exercise and what is appropriate to the age and stage and the comorbidities that I have. But I'm not that keen on looking too far ahead. One of the ones that came up just over the last day or so was about DBS, and that's deep brain stimulation. And it's a surgery where they implant, I can't think of the word, something into your brain, and it stimulates your brain, and it can help people with mobility and a few other things as well. Now, when I was first diagnosed, my husband and I went to a conference in Rotorua, and it was a very good conference. They had some great speakers, and one of them talked about DBS, deep brain stimulation, and somebody said that, put their hand up and said they were really keen to have that done. And when the guy described it, we're sitting at this table, and I turned to my husband and I said, he's not really selling it to me, it sounds pretty scary. I said, I don't think I'd ever do that. And that was probably a couple of months in after diagnosis, and I just wouldn't even countenance the idea of having DBS surgery. But I think my stance might have softened a bit. I have had a lot of operations in my day, so I'm probably not as scared of operations as some people might be. But the idea of having electrodes, that's the word I couldn't find, electrodes put in my brain to stay there permanently, and then having a box thing attached to me like a pacemaker, that's a bit freaky. It really is a bit freaky. But if you get to the stage where you're not coping and it will help you to manage better, then I think all power. Maybe I do want to do that. So yeah, exercise as well. Exercise is something, like I said, that's really important. You need to enjoy it, you need to be able to keep it up. The problem is, it's all very well me reading about other people doing amazing exercises. There's a guy on a Facebook group that I am part of, and he's in Australia, and he does so much exercise. He always seems to be exercising. In fact, I wonder how he fits in the rest of his life. And all power to him. If that's helping him, that's great. But I've never been a great gym bunny or anything. I have gone from time to time, but this guy was doing hardcore stuff. The problem with me is I have a hernia, an abdominal hernia. I have arthritis quite significantly in my hands and my feet now, and my back. I've had an operation just a wee squeak over a year ago now, on the 3rd of February last year, and that major back operation still causes me to have a level of discomfort. I have to make decisions all the time as to whether an exercise is good for me or is going to cause me issues. So yeah, so I have, when I see some of these exercises where people are grabbing those medicine balls and slamming them into the ground, or doing overhead lat pull downs and things like that at the gym, I know what these exercises are. I know that I've done them in the past, the rowing machine, all that. All those things with the push and the weight on my back, I wouldn't be confident that I could do it. So it's a matter of looking at these things when they pop up and going, is it something I feel I would do? Is it something I feel I would do consistently and carry on with it? Or is it something that I feel may have too much of an element of risk? So I'm always trying to guess what would be the best thing for me to do when it comes to exercise. And at the moment I'm swimming. So I go to the pool. I've been going to the pool for quite some time now, and I go and I've started doing lengths. When I first started, I was just doing flotation belt and doing aqua jogging, and one of the lifesavers said to me one day, she said, "You have come so far." She said, "When you first came here, you could barely walk up and down the pool without puffing and panting." And she said, "Now you're doing lengths." So I am just more than a little bit proud of myself that I've started to progress and started to push myself. And part of that is because I want to lose weight, and part of that is I just want to be healthier in general. For 4 years, easy, I have not been able to do much in the way of exercise. Between all the things that are happening to my body, I just haven't been able to, physically haven't been able to do what I need to do to exercise and to lose weight. And when you can't do that, and getting in and out of a car is painful, everything's painful, you can't stand for very long, sometimes you might take solace in a chocolate bar. And sometimes your husband needs to take you out for a coffee with a chocolate bar, or with a biscotti. They're rather nice. But you need to find a way to manage these things, and it's not always easy. When it comes to, do I want to know or do I not? I want to know the things that are happening currently that look promising, that's of interest to me. I want to know what's appropriate to my age and stage, and with all my comorbidities. I want to know what's useful to do for myself with my stage of Parkinson's. And do I not? I do not really want to look too far ahead in the future. It does not serve me. It doesn't help me at all to say, if I end up in this condition, what can I do about it? Because I don't want to be crystal ball gazing. I don't want to be trying to say, well, if this happens and that happens, then I'll do this or that. Because it may never happen. You know, my mum and dad both had Parkinson's. So yeah, this is the family curse. And so far I'm the only one that has it, but you never know with my brothers, something could crop up for them too. But mum and dad's journeys were both very different. Dad lost the power of speech quite early on, and mum never stopped talking. And I'll probably never stop talking, knowing me, so much a part of my makeup. I don't feel that I want to know too much about what happens in the future. If I'm getting definite markers pointing in the direction of I'm going to need DBS or not, then I'll look into it. But right now I don't feel that I need to. My motto as it stands at the moment is live for today but plan for tomorrow. I'll look ahead when I need to. I'll dip my toe in the waters if something does interest me, but I don't need to look at how other people are coping at that end stage, because that's them. And all power to them that they are giving of themselves to be recorded for the information of others as to what changes come about with DBS and things like that. And that's a wonderful gift to give, to have yourself videoed so that other people can see the benefits that you have. But I prefer not to look too far ahead, and that's just me. Other people may want to look at every possible scenario and what they would do in that scenario, but not me. I just want to enjoy the moment, make moments of happiness, and spend time with my family, my husband, all those that I love, and enjoy their company. Live for today. That's where I'm at. And yeah, I'll absorb the things that I need to know along the way, and I'll know when I need to absorb them and talk them through with my husband and my family. So yeah, I don't know where you sit, but our journeys are all our individual journeys. No two are the same, because none of us is the same. So this has been Sue for Parkies and Me, my journey with Parkinson's. Kia kaha, be brave, be strong, be you.